The Apple Watch Series 10 has been out for almost 2 months now, and I've been using this Apple Watch Series 10 on and off since it came out alongside my Apple Watch Ultra 2. And I've been using that watch for well over a year now. So I wanted to give my full review of the Series 10 and put it up against the Ultra to see if I'll be making maybe the switch back to the standard, non-Ultra Apple Watch Series 10, or will I be moving another year in that direction of the Apple Watch Ultra 2? There were many rumors this year that the Apple Watch Series 10 was supposed to be this big update and this big redesign, and well, that didn't really happen. Sure, some aspects of the watch has changed and the design has changed slightly, but if I showed it to somebody out on the streets, I don't know that they'd be able to tell me right away which model they're looking at. With that said, the new Titanium Series 10 in Slate is the model that I have here. I absolutely love the look and feel of it. It's very light, it's elegant, and compared to the Ultra, it's just much more modern and classy in my opinion, especially if you pair it with a nice band. Now, the display is actually larger than any other Apple Watch currently on the market. Yes, even bigger than the Ultra by just a very small amount. There are also some other display improvements like having a 1 Hz refresh rate at the lowest so that you can kind of have the always on display giving you more information like the seconds hand ticking even when your watch again is in that always on mode. And you can also see the always on display on your Series 10 at way more angles, like having it down at the bottom. It's just so much brighter and easier to see than some of the other watches out there, including the Ultra. It's also the thinnest Apple Watch ever, and so if you couple all of the display and the design changes, it's not insignificant by any means. It's just not that complete design overhaul like we were expecting. Now, one of the biggest new health features for the Series 10, one of the marquee things, is that this Apple Watch can now detect whether or not you show signs of sleep apnea during the night. And it will give you recommendations on if you should further consult your doctor. It's not entirely a diagnosis here, which is important to note. And as much as this feature seems really cool and potentially useful for many, many people out there who might not know if they show potential signs of sleep apnea, I could not test this feature out. You need to sleep with your watch on for nearly a month. I believe it's like 28 days. And I tried it for a few days, but then, just the way I sleep, my watch just ends up, I like put my hands on my eye and then it just like digs into my eye and I had some scratches and it's just not great in the middle of the night for me and I just couldn't do it. So I found it to be a little bit too uncomfortable during my sleep, and when anything causes me any problems during my sleep, I immediately abandon ship. So I tried. There are plenty other reviewers out there who have done it. And again, it's more so a recommendation, not necessarily a feature that can give you a diagnosis. So it's not something you should trust 100%. And if you're somebody out there who thinks that you already have sleep apnea or are worried about this, just go get a proper sleep study and just kind of skip the Apple Watch part in general. But this is more of a you didn't know. It's more for those people who didn't know that it can give you that, hey, you might have some signs here, go get it checked out. Not necessarily for those who already think they might have it. Now, fun fact, the new health feature of sleep apnea is not only available on the Series 10, but has also been brought down to the Ultra 2. So if you were considering any of these watches and sleep apnea was a big deal, you can get it on both, so no worries there. And if also you already have an Apple Watch Ultra 2, you can try this feature out, as well as some of the other cool watchOS 11 features that came out this year, like the new Vitals app. Again, another thing that you need to sleep with for multiple days in order to get the proper data tracked, but I highly recommend trying it out if you want some overnight data of how your body is recovering, or maybe if you're seeing signs of getting sick, you'll see all of that in the Vitals app. Training Load also gives you insights on how your workouts are going, and you can track the effort that you're putting in and see if you're under training or if you're overdoing it. Then you can kind of look at the Vitals app and kind of go in conjunction with, oh, maybe I'm overdoing it, and start taking it easy for a few days. The Series 10 and Watch Ultra 2 can now play music or podcasts directly from the speaker that's built into the watch. No phone or headphones required, which I guess is pretty cool if you're in a pinch and you want to have some light background noise going on. You can use your watch to do that. You can finally pause rings and resume whenever you're ready to get back to it so that you're no longer losing your streak. Maybe you had a crazy, 364-day streak and then you got really sick and you couldn't work out the next day. That's kind of a shame, and so Apple gives you the ability to pause it, till the next day, or you can set it to whenever you need to. And so you won't lose your streaks. You'll have the ability to pause it if you need to. There's also a redesigned Photos face that can search thousands of photos in your library, intelligently analyze them, and then select the best compositions, framing, and image quality for your watch. And so you have a really cool Photos watch face that's now have been updated. And the Smart Stack showcasing live activities has also been pretty clutch, especially during the ALDS this past year. Although every time my watch gave me a slight vibration, I just knew the Yankees hit another home run or scored in some way. And so that was kind of a bummer. But maybe next year, Cleveland. There's also a lot of new for those who are rocking an older watch. And if you have something like a Series 8 or older, I think you'd be really happy with upgrading to the Series 10. I still think I'm going to stick with the Ultra, honestly, because for battery, it's just a battery champion, and I really noticed improvements over the 10 when I was having some workouts tracked or using the apps related to an activity that I was doing for a few hours at a time. And most notably, these past couple of months, I was doing a lot of golfing. And by the way, if you have an Apple Watch already and you golf, you probably already know this, but if you're thinking about taking up golf, this is a fantastic companion. And I noticed that when using apps like Golf Shot to get swing tracking, or even just tracking the golf workout in the workout app, the Series 10 could barely make it through the round in terms of battery. My Ultra gave me plenty of battery life to spare after a full round of swing analyzing, GPS location constantly in use for when I was trying to find the distance between me and my ball to the hole, and keeping score throughout the round. I had plenty of battery life left over on the Ultra. If you're looking for normal running or strength training, tracking, just minimal everyday use outside of that, I think the Series 10 will be just fine. But I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. If you're thinking about getting a Series 10 or an Ultra, which one are you looking at more? Let me know down in those comments.